Mobility is something that I've been thinking about a lot. I partner with the largest artist residency in Mexico, Architopia. And in Architopia this last summer, summer of last year, with the advent of this mess of the pandemic, they had to reinvent themselves. So they put together a symposium called The End of the Grand Tour. They contextualize the idea of the journey. What does it mean to journey? As an invention from 1492, a reinvention of the nations. And at the center of it all was the idea of mobility, of what does it mean to have a passport where you can fly all over the world? What does it mean to have a passport in this era when, to a certain degree, the pandemic was first widespread through those people that have mobility? Mobility is a signifier of modernity, but as we understand now, modernity doesn't necessarily mean anything positive anymore. So the type of mobility that my grandfather and my father afforded us, it's something that I'm always thinking about and reckoning with, because it allowed for the opportunity for us to have different paths, to have different ways in which we can survive, in this world. But it's also an incredible privilege that I don't take for granted whatsoever. So every time I cross the border now, it's a different experience than it was before. Every time I'm in security in an airport, it's a different experience than it was before. I took it for granted. I don't anymore. I remember being in airport in Toronto International Airport, and I knew that my experience crossing that border was not the same that a lot of people around me. And it's because of that. It's because as much as I treasured my grandfather and my father's labor, I also need to contextualize to what degree that labor, keeps me where I'm at, and that gives me a lot of responsibility. And that's something that I'm always thinking about. So yes, it is a different experience. Yes, we were able to, and we're still able to go back and forth in the border, but never take it for granted, ever.